Hey now, before you even think about diving into the shiny, flashy world of the new Gundam legendary character draw, there are a few crucial things you need to know. First off, CodeM decided to crank things up a notch. Yep, the number of required pulls to guarantee one legendary has been bumped up from 75 to 100. That means if you're aiming for the guaranteed reward, you better be ready to shell out more CP than ever. In my region, you're looking at around 5000 CP for just one Gundam character. Multiply that by 4 and you're staring at a whopping 20,000 CP to complete the entire draw set. That's not pocket change, it's a whole investment. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. To unlock the exclusive Beam Saber, Freedom Gundam, you need to collect all 4 legendary guns and all 4 legendary Gundam characters. So if you're the kind of player who goes big or goes home, that's your challenge right there. And unlike other draws, this time there's no Hollow Watch. CodeM has replaced it with something even cooler. The first ever legendary execution animation in a character draw, which is definitely a unique addition. But before you throw CP into the fire, ask yourself, is it actually worth it? Here's the reality check. In multiplayer, these characters are massive in design and full of flashy colors, meaning they're super easy to spot. Now don't worry about the hitbox. It's technically the same as other operators, but visually you're not blending in. In fact, I've noticed something hilarious during my own matches. Sazabi Gundam for some reason seems to shrink slightly during MP gameplay. It's almost like he's trying to go stealth mode in a Gundam suit and failing gloriously. It's funny but could be a surprise advantage depending on the situation. So before you swipe your card, let's take a look at each Gundam one by one and figure out which one is actually worth your CP. I'll walk you through their design, their in-game impact, execution animations, and whether they actually feel satisfying to use. So let's kick off with the best one, at least in my opinion, and you're free to disagree. But Freedom Gundam is the absolute fan favorite, both in the anime universe and now in Call of Duty Mobile. If you've been around the Gundam community, you will know that this particular mobile suit is legendary, and CodeM has done it justice with a beautifully detailed skin. It features a sleek humanoid mech with sharp black and white plating, accented by those iconic angular wings that just scream, "I'm not here to mess around." And let's not forget the clean pinkish purple glow from those dual beam sabers. Visually, it's hands down one of the most aesthetic operators we've ever seen. Now let's talk about the in-game flair, because this guy is stacked with style. Starting with the execution, which by the way is the best among all the 4. Ethan pulls out his dual beam sabers and finishes off enemies in an ultra smooth cinematic strike that's both flashy and satisfying. And it's not just visual candy, the operator skill tied to this skin is the Ballista EM3. But here's a little detail most people will miss. This is a special variant of Ballista EM3 that only shows up when you're using the Ethan Freedom Gundam skin. If you equip the skill with any other operator, it looks completely different, so this right here is that extra exclusivity you're paying for. Moving on to the loot box, CodeM didn't hold back. It continues the color story of the operator with a sleek mix of black, white. It fits the character like a glove and really ties the whole loadout together. Then we've got the MP entry animation. Ethan comes charging in wielding both sabers like a boss, and let me tell you, it looks absolutely menacing. The MVP animation also has a cool twist. It shows a weapon that doesn't even appear in the draw, almost like an Easter egg for people paying close attention. But my favorite part, and maybe yours too if you love animations, is the drop stance. Ethan fuses his sabers into one mega beam blade and slams it into the ground like a mech god descending into battle. It looks phenomenal, no exaggeration. And for the cherry on top, the skydive animation uses his massive wings to glide in like a sleek fighter jet. If style points mattered in MP, Ethan's already won. So that's everything you need to know about the Ethan Freedom Gundam operator. Now let's move into the next legendary operator skin in this epic Gundam collaboration, Proton. This one brings a slightly different vibe to the battlefield. If Freedom Gundam was the stylish hero, Proton Nu Gundam is the serious one with pure domination written all over its presence. Visually, the Proton Nu Gundam is a clean masterpiece. It's primarily clad in white armor with black trim, while the red and yellow highlights provide just enough flair to make it pop without going over the top. And that iconic V-fin crest on the forehead, that's classic Amuro Ray inspiration right there, a direct tribute to Gundam's deep lore. The large wing-like appendages on its back and shoulders add bulk, almost like it's constantly battle-ready, with those fin funnel units circling it like a protective shield. Now let's talk about the execution animation, and this one's absolutely top tier. Proton Nu Gundam unleashes the Fin Funnel Strike, 6 energy projectiles that hover around him before launching a coordinated attack on the enemy. It's flashy, stylish, and just scream "don't mess with me." Really put effort into making this animation feel like a true homage to the Mobile Suit's abilities from the anime. It's a visual treat, especially if you're a long-time Gundam fan. The operator skill for this character is the bull charge, but there's a twist. Just like Ethan's ballista, this skill takes on a completely new Gundam-themed model if you're using the Proton Nu Gundam skin. Otherwise, you will just see the regular bull charge animation, so again exclusivity plays a big role here. If you're a collector or just someone who appreciates custom effects, this is a big win. Moving on to the loot box, it follows the character's color palette to perfection. White base, black trim, and those signature red and yellow accents. Visually cohesive and sharp, matching the suit's aesthetic in every way. For the MP entry animation, Proton Nu keeps it simple yet intimidating. Proton Nu Gundam summons all 6 fin funnels to orbit him, giving off this energy godlike appearance. It's easily one of the most impressive animations in the entire collaboration. Then there's the drop stance, which subtly flexes its mech structure and proportions, looking strong and clean without trying too hard. And finally, that skydive animation. Flame thrusters ignite from behind as it glides in with full control, giving it that perfect futuristic warrior touch. It's a subtle nod to spaceflight mechanic and makes for one of the slickest entries in game. Now stepping into the shadows, let's talk about Synaptic Gundam Death Scythe Hell EW, the most menacing and possibly the most aggressive looking of all 4 legendary Gundam operator skins. The color scheme immediately sets the tone. Deep blacks and dark greens dominate the armor, while red and white accents slash through with perfect contrast. It's got that "don't come near me" vibe, and for good reason. Just look at those enormous bat-like mechanical wings stretching out from the back. They're not just for looks. They give Death Scythe Hell a devilish silhouette, like some mechanical demon floating in space, and they look insane mid-game when you're flying into battle or making your entrance. Let's talk about the execution animation, and oh boy, it's brutal. Synaptic doesn't waste time. He whips out his beam scissors and in one smooth, devastating strike, takes down the opponent. It's savage. It's cinematic. It's everything you'd want from a unit named Death Scythe Hell. Easily one of the most dramatic finishes in COD Mobile history so far. Now, the operator skill here is gravity spikes, but again the Gundam version only activates if you're using this specific operator. And yes, this Gundam themed upgrade takes an already aggressive skill and makes it visually 10 times better. If you're running around with regular gravity spikes, trust me, you're missing out on the sheer flair and power this version brings. The loot box design follows the exact same aesthetic. Black, green, red, white, fierce and cohesive. Now on to the exclusive animations. For the MP entry animation, you get Synaptic floating down like a boss from a final level. He drops from the sky, brandishes the beam scissors, and you can just feel the dominance. It has that "I won the game and I want everyone to know it" energy. Then there's the drop stance, which flexes his angular, edgy silhouette perfectly. He stands strong, wings stretched and weapon ready. It's like a statement. I'm not here to play around. And for the skydive animation, those massive wings come into full display, giving him a haunting presence in midair. It's easily one of the flashiest and coolest skydives we've seen so far in a legendary skin. And finally, closing out this legendary quartet, we have the Reaper, Sazabi. Now this operator skin is with a blazing red and black color scheme accented just right with hints of white. Reaper Sazabi is arguably the most visually explosive of them all. But the moment you'll really feel the power of Sazabi is when you trigger the finisher animation. Wielding his beam tomahawk, Sazabi goes full-on berserker mode. It's fast, it's violent, and it's glorious. Zero hesitation. No drawn-out poses, just pure, clean destruction in one swing. If you're the kind of player who loves overwhelming presence, this might be your go-to. His operator skill is the Claw, but just like the others, it's only wrapped in Gundam magic if you're actually using the Reaper Sazabi skin. Without it, it's just the same old default animation. And trust me, you're gonna want the themed one because it looks way more satisfying. The loot box carries that same intimidating energy, sticking to red and black tones to stay fully aligned with the Sazabi visual identity. It feels cohesive and premium, like a Gundam war machine ready to be unboxed. The MP debut is just chef's kiss. Sazabi hovers midair using several high-powered thrusters, beam tomahawk at the ready. It's like watching a raid boss enter the arena Cool, calm, but obviously dangerous. Even the drop stance is laser sharp, showing off the full bulk and menace of his design. And for the skydive animation, those massive back thrusters fire up in full power, pushing him into the battle with absolute dominance. And that wraps up all 4 of the new Gundam legendary characters. Whether you're going for style, stealth, or straight up aggression, this draw covers all fronts. Now, if you're planning to spin, let me know down in the comments which one you're hoping to pull, and if you manage to get anything good from the free spins, don't be shy, flex it.